and then we're back on Sunday afternoon, Mike.
All right, so it seems like the monsoon has finally started to kick in after it's been a very, very slow start to the season. But you can see a lot of things when the monsoon kicks in, haboobs, or you can see stuff like this. This was a big old downburst, a wet microburst, if you want to be really specific about it, that happened in Gilbert, just outside of Phoenix. What this is, it's just the atmosphere unloading. That thunderstorm just gets loaded with rain, hail. Next thing you know, out it has to come. Well, we thought here in Weather Underground, well, we do our own little monsoon experiment. Let's get dirty. Let's get messy.
Do it.
What do you think? It's Friday night.
Science.
Want to get messy?
Yes.
All right, so we've got baby powder. Well, we got our pants. We need these pants.
Yeah.
We've got our rain
changed.
pants on. We look good.
We do.
You got baby powder.
Yep.
We got a plate glass, and I have a cup of water here,
So this is a pretty easy experiment to do.
So what we're going to do is we're going to simulate Phoenix. So, Alex, just a big circle of powder right in the middle there. We just need to simulate the sand, the dirt of the desert Southwest. Fill it all in. Big pile of just sand, dirt. It's just Phoenix, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Very messy.
That is very, fill it up.
Okay.
Is that every?
All of it?
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it. This is science.
That is science. Our production crew's gonna hate us. Anyway, but we do. It's all for science, folks. Together we know more, right? All right. I think that'll work.
Well, I'd like to do a little more.
All right. So now I'm gonna give you this.
Okay.
Here's a piece of glass.
Yes.
And this is gonna be our thunderstorm, okay? Mm-hmm. So the thunderstorm is loaded with moisture, right? It's
right.
full of water, correct? So let's put a little plate on that. Let's go ahead and let's flip that over. Okay. Very nice. I'm going to turn it this way just slightly. Okay, you hold that glass on there real tight. All right? So, in a thunderstorm, the updrafts are supporting the thunderstorm. So all the moisture in a thunderstorm is staying suspended in the air, right? But eventually the downdraft is going to have to win out, right? Because it can't just sustain itself forever with the updrafts. Eventually, the cold downdrafts will win out, and that's what we saw in the video, right? We saw the big downburst, and all the rain fell out of the bottom of the storm, right? So
we get us over Phoenix.
We're over Phoenix. It's dusty on the ground. We don't get much rain, right? We just get it during the monsoon generally. So when that downdraft wins out, you get a wet microburst. And in 3, 2, 1.
There it goes.
And you can even create haboobs with the downburst. Now, they're not as intense as they are with outflows from a thunderstorm, but you can get them. They tend to be a little less intense because you have moisture that's associated with it. That can dampen down the amount of dust that's in the air. And they tend not to last as long, but you can soak and you can cause a flood.
Right.
And you can also create a small haboob.
But look at how far the dust went. It went well away, so it carries for quite some time.
If we saw in that video, the storm comes down and then it shoots out. And so you can create strong straight line winds with them.
Right.
You can create these big rain foots, as they're called, big rain foot with a storm, and that's what we had with our experiment.
Well, let's show you let's take it to the replay.
Did you see that? Just like that. And you can get an outflow from a downburst like that in 360 degrees around the storm if the precipitation is very concentrated.
That's cool. You know, we talk so many times about the rain and the wind aren't going to go through the ground, so they carry. And when, unfortunately, you've got these particulates, this dust that's so easy, like baby powder, to be lofted about, sure enough, that's exactly what happens.
You know, what's unique about the desert Southwest is the landscape. It's very arid, right? So we have a lot of sand, we have a lot of dirt. You can get strong straight line winds in other parts of the country, but because you have grass or green vegetation, you don't get the visual like you do in a place, say, like Phoenix, where you actually see the straight line winds.
It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so visually phenomenal, too. Obviously, when you find yourself underneath it, it can be a whole different ballgame. Visibility drops, they can't take planes off, and it's a tough go.
It can cause big issues on highways. A lot of times you see this happen on interstates. I-10 is a notorious highway for haboobs where it'll literally bring cars to a standstill, or it'll even cause car accidents.
Scary stuff when you find yourself in one, but very cool representation of, so something new if you're looking to do a little science with the kids before they have to head back to school. That's a pretty easy but very accurate representation.
Again, you get some of these wet microbursts that can happen. You can get some dry air that gets injected into the storm at some point, and then eventually it comes down to you get some melting, some evaporation. Eventually it comes down out of the bottom of the storm, and it plunges downward, and sometimes, and we see it in some of these videos that we get, very violently, and then the winds spread out horizontally once they reach the ground.
And you can see not every direction ended up having the exact same motion, so yeah, certain areas can get flat.
If the storm is stationary, that's when it tends to be the most visually stunning. But it's really a wild sight this time of year in the desert Southwest.
Yeah, I did put on my protective pants,
that was
but
smart.
I was standing behind several crew members,
That was
and now
smart.
half of our staff is covered in baby powder.
It smells so
I'm
nice
fine.
in the studio right
I'm
now.
fine.
Very clean. We're very clean. Well, for all of us here at Weather Underground, thanks for watching. Have a great night. Remember, together we know more. Booyah!
God damn.